What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some more news concerning Deontay Wilder. Of course, if you guys don't know by now, Deontay Wilder reveals that he has undergone surgery to repair his left bicep after suffering an injury during the WBC heavyweight title against Tyson Fury earlier this year. And of course, we know he suffered his first loss, but what I'm getting at and what I want to talk to you guys about is the bicep injury. This isn't the first time he's had an injury. He's had a lot of injuries in the past, 10 years? He's had at least 6, 7, right? 5 at the most. He's had a lot of injuries, and like I said about Alexander Usyk, I'm going to say about Deontay. Deontay and Usyk alike, they have to be careful on what they're doing and how they're fighting. And I believe, like I've been telling you guys, that Deontay Wilder tears biceps because he broke a hand. He broke a couple hands or arms because a lot of times he says one thing, then he says another thing. Maybe he broke them both. Maybe he broke his hand or his arm, but it is what it is, right? But this time it's his bicep again. Because if you guys can remember, I think he fought Carlos Medina. I believe it was Carlos Medina, right? And he broke his hand and tore his bicep. And I think that was his right, okay? I don't know which bicep that he tore. He just said his left bicep. So now he's tore his left. He tore his right back in 15 or 16. Now he tore his left. And that just goes to show you, I think he's getting a lot of these injuries because of his form. He's wild. I know he can't help that. And one thing that he does credit, you didn't know or could tell that he was injured in there. He looked tired, if anything, but you couldn't decipher, okay, he's limping or, because in boxing is a mental game. You don't let the other side know, the opponent know what's wrong with you. So he hit that quite well. But the thing is, he's 35, 34. He'll be 35. And I don't think that's the best thing you should be doing in your career, because it's like, obviously, whatever you're doing, you're hurting yourself, and I know injuries happen. They happen in training and things like that, but these happen in fights where he goes balls to the wall or he throws a wild shot and tears something, and it's just becoming too regular, every so often. Last year he tore something, right? My arm, then he said his hand, then he said his arm again, right? But it's still an injury somewhere, right? Then and it's like a combo. So he'll tear one thing, then he'll tear another thing, but it mostly consists of his arm or his fist. Now, again, that comes to the way you punch. You can't punch a fighter any kind of way. And I think that goes with his form again. Okay, the way he decides to hit in the, you have to turn your punch over. And if you notice about Wilder, he hits people in the back of the head, which is illegal. But the point I'm trying to make is, not only is it dangerous for the other fighter, it's also dangerous to him. Because if you notice, the last fight he was fighting Fury. When Fury did get close, what did he do? He whacked him on top of the head, and he throws these shots, and he chops back with it. That can break your hand or your wrist even. So I think he has to be mindful. Me counterpunching Deontay Wilder, he has to be mindful of the way he's throwing shots. They need to work on his form, okay? Now, it's one thing to know how to punch hard, but if you're hurting yourself punching other people, that's not really helping you, because you're going to be out. You're going to, have to have rehab, and then see, now he can't come back to training until, July? Okay, so he has to wait and let that heal and things like that, and that just takes time, and that's just time away from the sport. And he's trying to redeem himself. That's why he activated the rematch clause for the trilogy fight with Tyson Fury. But you can tell this just goes against the process of him preparing, because whoever he's bringing into his team, they're going to have to wait. So he's going to have to wait. So everyone's on a standstill because he's tearing something. And now, again, I know people have injuries, but if they're having it too frequent, then you start having to look at, okay, why is he having these injuries? Why are these tears and all these things occurring to Deontay Wilder? Well, look how he swings, look how he punches, look how he delivers punches, look how he lands. He doesn't really caution to where those punches land. He just throws them, and that's just reckless and hazardous to him as well as the other fighter. Definitely to the other fighter, but let's say he hits someone on the top of the head, that could break his hand. Okay. And a guy with serious hand problems is Floyd Mayweather. His only recorded knockdown was, I forget the fighter, it wasn't Jesus Chavez, but it was another fighter that he hit him wrong. And, and out of the pain of the punch, he kneeled down, and they called it a knockdown, believe it or not, even though people know that wasn't a knockdown because the dude didn't hit him. But, it is what it is. And Deontay just has to be careful on, his punch placement. So he can't go, and he needs to worry about if he's going to remain in the sport. Now, if he's going to retire after this year or whatever, but if he's going to remain fighting, he has to be knowledgeable of where these punches are placed and how he delivers these punches, because that's the reason for these injuries that I feel. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about the injuries of Deontay Wilder. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunched. Peace.